Welcome, everyone, to our Sunday gathering number 166. Yes, that's right. We have not missed a Sunday at this exact time in 166 weeks. Wow. Each week, we try to put a smile on your face, unite the two worlds, and just give you a good start to your week. I'm always joined with my bestest of friends. We've got Darren Wynn, Carrie McLeod, and Philip Dykes. Carrie has kindly created our service today, picked all the music, the theme, who's doing what. So I'm going to turn it over to her to explain. But welcome.
Thank you very much, Sandra. It is an absolute pleasure to be here with you, ladies and gentlemen, for 166. Who would have thought it? And I wondered whether for today there's a number of different things happening around the world. So I thought looking within would be an appropriate theme. Today in North America, it is Memorial Day, Memorial Weekend, a time where we look forward, appreciate the present, and reflect on the past as well. So the music will all reflect that too. But I know that there is a certain lady going to the spirit world whose songs I have picked, and I'll share a little bit more of that in the address. So I've asked Darren to do the prayers. I've asked Darren to do the reading and Sandra to do the healing, and for Sandra to do the words of the week and Darren to come in with the prayers at the end. And Phil will be doing the mediumship for today as well. So I'm going to pass over to Darren for the opening prayer.
Thank you for that, Karen. A great theme that you've chosen as well. So everyone, a massive welcome to all of you. And if you'd like to close your eyes and join me for the 166th Sunday Gathering opening prayer. We have a tongue tie then. To our dear friends, helpers and loved ones in that world we call unseen, we unite here together today as one, as friends, brothers and sisters from around our globe. We come together in love, peace and harmony for the joy and wonder of uniting the two worlds together as one. As we unite here together today, we do so under that banner of We Don't Die, and we come together here for our Sunday gathering. As we unite here together as one, we do so from different countries within our land. We do so speaking different languages and having different dialects. And we do so coming together from different backgrounds and different understandings. But today we unite here together in the name of love, for the love and joy of all those in the world we call unseen. As we come together here today, we cast aside our own wants, our own needs and our own desires, and we come here together in unity for the good of all of mankind. And as we enter into this Sunday gathering, we cast aside our demands and expectations and enter with an open heart and an open mind to allow all of our workers to be free and open to cascade the words and thoughts of all those we love in the world we call unseen, to bring us those moments of joy, healing and an upliftment, and allow us all to immerse ourselves in that unconditional love and healing balm that is the unseen world. Each and every one of us deems it an absolute joy and privilege to walk hand in hand, side by side with all those in the unseen world. And we truly hope we can make a difference here today and make you proud. As we enter into our Sunday gathering, we do so in memory and remembrance of all those that have gone before us and fought for the freedoms we have in our world today. And each and every one will be remembered here today on Memorial Day. And as we continue to open this Sunday gathering, we do so with smiles upon our faces, positivity within our minds, and love in abundance within our hearts, so that we may create that perfect meeting ground in which the two worlds can truly come together as one. And we ask as always that that healing light continues to shine to all four corners of our land, to bring that joy, healing and upliftment to all those hearts and minds that may be in need at this time. So without further ado, my friends, we welcome you here today. Amen. Okay, I'm going to go straight into the reading here today. I have two little stories for you. You know what my mind's like. I can never decide between the two, but they both resonated with me. So I hope they will with you. The first one is called The Lion and the Sheep. There was once a pregnant lion that was on its last legs. She died soon after giving birth. The newborn, not knowing what to do, makes its way into a nearby field and mingles with a herd of sheep. The mother sheep sees the cub and decides to raise it as her own. And so the lion cub grows up along with the other sheep and starts thinking and acting just like a sheep. It would bleat like a sheep and even eat grass. But it was never truly happy. For one, it always felt that there was something missing. And secondly, the other sheep would constantly ridicule it for being so different. They would say, "You are so ugly and your voice sounds so weird. Why can't you bleat properly like the rest of us? You're a disgrace to the sheep community." The lion would just stand there and take in all these remarks, feeling extremely sad. It felt it had let down the sheep community by being so different, and that it was a waste of space. One day, an older lion from a far off jungle sees a herd of sheep and decides to attack it. While attacking, it sees a young lion running away along with the other sheep. Curious as to what was happening, the older lion decides to stop chasing the sheep and pursues the younger lion instead. It pounces on the lion and growls, asking, "Why is it running away with the sheep?" The younger lion shakes in fear and says, "Please don't eat me. I'm just a young sheep. Please let me go." Upon hearing this, the older lion growls, "That's nonsense. You are not a sheep. You are a lion, just like me." The younger lion simply repeats, "I know I'm a sheep. Please let me go." At this point, the older lion gets an idea. It drags the younger lion to a river nearby and asks it to look at its reflection. Upon looking at the reflection, the lion, much to its own astonishment, realizes who it really was. It was not a sheep, it was a mighty lion. The young lion feels so thrilled that it lets out a mighty roar. The roar echoes from all corners of the jungle and frightens the living daylights out of all the sheep that were hiding behind the bushes to see what was happening. They all flee away. No longer will the sheep be able to make fun of the lion or even stand close to it, for the lion had found its true nature and its true herd. My second reading is called Looking at a Mirror. One day, all the employees reached the office and they saw a big advice on the door, which it was written, "Yesterday, the person who has been hindering your growth in this company passed away. We invite you to join the funeral in the room that has been prepared in the gym." In the beginning, they all got sad for the death of one of their colleagues, but after a while they started getting curious to know who was that man who hindered the growth of his colleagues and the company itself. The excitement in the gym was such that security agents were ordered to control the crowd within the room. The more people reached the coffin, the more the excitement heated up. Everyone thought, "Who is this guy that was hindering my progress? Well, at least he's died." One by one, the thrilled employees got closer to the coffin, and when they looked inside it, they suddenly became speechless. They stood nearby the coffin, shocked and in silence, as if someone had touched the deepest part of their soul. There was a mirror inside the coffin. Everyone who looked inside it could see themselves. There was also a sign next to the mirror that said, "This is only one person who is capable to set limits to your growth. It is you. You are the only person who can revolutionize your life. You are the only person who can influence your happiness, your realization, and your success. You are the only person that can help yourself. Your life does not change when your boss changes, when your friends change, when your parents change, when your partner changes, when your company changes. Your life changes when you change, when you go beyond your limiting beliefs, when you realize that you are the only person responsible for your life. The most important relationship you can have is the one with yourself. Examine yourself, watch yourself. Don't be afraid of difficulties, impossibilities, and losses. Be a winner. Build yourself and your reality. The world is like a mirror. It gives back to anyone the reflection of the thoughts in which one has strongly believed. The world and your reality are like mirrors lying in a coffin, which show to any individual the depth of his divine capability to imagine and create his happiness and his success. It's the way you face life that makes the difference. If an egg is broken from outside force, life ends. If an egg is broken from inside force, life begins. Great things always begin from our inside. I thank you and I hand you over to Sandra.
Thank you very much, Darren. And ladies and gentlemen, I want to take a second just to acknowledge Darren. Darren, you pick the best readings. I don't know where you get them from. I can never find them as good, but they're really touching and they always make sense and tie in our themes. And the other thing is your prayers just touch my soul. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I'm going to speak on behalf of everybody because it's just priceless what you add. Truly. And Carrie and Phil, you know, I feel the same. We all love you guys and we want to serve you the best we can. We really do. So as we move into our healing, there's a few things I want to mention. First, I know there's some people with us right now with some very heavy hearts. I know often grief unites us coming to our Sunday gatherings. And I also know we have some friends within our Sunday gathering who have had some very close loved ones pass just in the past couple of days. So you know who you are. Our hearts are with all that are grieving, and we definitely send our love and healing to you. No matter what we believe about life and the afterlife, we cannot escape grief. And so we're very human, which is special, but it also hurts. So our thoughts are with you. Also, as it is Memorial Day weekend, I know many of us live in countries that enjoy quite a bit of freedom. And there are men and women that fought and served in the armed forces that have allowed us our freedom that we enjoy today. So within our healing, if you could just send out a thought of gratitude towards them, that would be appreciated. And as we move into our healing, Carrie's picked a very wonderful song by Bob Marley, Three Little Birds, with the words, every little thing is going to be all right. And it's tough to imagine sometimes that it will be, but it will be. And sometimes it's only in the future when we can look back in the past, we can see where that growth occurred. And it is out of the tough times. So as we send our healing thoughts, it doesn't matter the words you use, or even if you use words at all. The important thing is just that intent of love, and visualize people happy, healthy, whole, and well, in a place of peace here on this earth. You can do it in your own special way, or just sit back and enjoy this song, but every little thing will be okay. So here is our healing song, and then we will hear some words from Carrie for our address.
Thank you very much for putting that video to that song, Sandra. It's a beautiful song. And I know in the chat box, many of you have already shared that you've enjoyed that too. Today is a very special day. It's a very special day for a lot of reasons. But there's such a profound truth in our lives being a mirror of our inner world. Because when our inner world is healthy and it's whole, our outer world seems to reflect that as well. It seems to reflect when things are good, and it seems to reflect when things are a bit tougher. But I wish to also honour those that have moved to the spirit world within the last week. I know many of you joining us now have had relatives, loved ones, and friends transition to the spirit world. I wish to honour them. Many of you also know a lady called Tina Turner, who moved to the spirit world in the last few days. She was in service to the world with her music. But I also know another lady called Tina, who passed the spirit world this week, who was in service to looking after others. Now, whoever your loved ones are, whoever your friends are, your pets are, know that they dwell in that place unseen, but that doesn't mean they're any less present. Because on this Memorial Weekend, we remember the people that we know, we remember the people who are nameless to us, but that we have an appreciation. We remember that at this time, we often reflect on our past, our present, and look to the future. You might well be thinking about what your world is, what your life is, and how it needs to be, or how you would like it to be. Now, there are some thoughts that if we have anger and jealousy in the world around about us, the immediate world around about us, that we will reflect that within ourselves. Some would say that we are the sum of the people that we hold closest to us. If you hold people close to you, does that mean that you're happier and more wholesome within? I believe so. I have a group of people very close to me, family and friends, who I choose to spend time with and who share their lives and their loves with me. Our beliefs, our understanding, our knowledge shape who we are. It is absolutely impossible to change our outside world if we don't first change a world that is on the inside. Because if we think about the core of an apple, where's the part that seeds the orchard? Right in the middle, right in that tiny little seed in the middle. What if it's the same for you and Phil and me and everybody else you know? The part of us that seeds the orchard that we can have is deep within us. Now, how you get to that seed is up to you. If we think about an orchard, we might look at somebody with a knife that cuts deep into the apple and picks the seeds out. Not much fun for the apple, I hear you say, but for the seed, it's released to grow into something new. Some of us have the hard knocks that bruise the flesh, that bruise the soul, but still we get to our seed. Some people stumble and feel like we get eaten, but still our seeds are released. And those are the parts that we can sow, that become us. There's different things in our life that release the seeds. It can be trauma, grief, near-death experiences, incredible experiences with the spirit world, absolute moments of bliss and of love. Any profound experience can be the catalyst for growth and transformation. To embark on a genuine journey of transformation, we have to be first willing to go within ourselves, to get to that seed within us. So we might need to challenge and confront our mindset. We might have to challenge and confront others around about us that don't want change. We might have to move through those layers of flesh on the apple to be able to get to the seed within, because it's from this seed on the inside that we find an inner exploration and a healing that lasts forever. Many of us want to change the outside of our apple. Let's stick to the apple for a moment. We might put a bow tie on it, or a suit, or a shirt, or some earrings. We might wish to put some makeup on, or grow the hair long, or cut the hair short. We might have, just as well, we might wish to have a certain lifestyle that protects the apple, put some bubble wrap around it. We might wish to buy a beautiful house that apple dwells in. But true change happens on the inside. So does that stuff on the outside matter? I think so. We live in a physical world. We live in a world that we have homes and houses, cars, earrings, rings, clothes, makeup, hair. But if we recognize that seed of change within us, that's where we will find a reality that mirrors our joy from within. So on Memorial Day, when we begin to look at those that have gone before us and are in the spirit world for whatever reason that they got there, whether it being in service, whether it being in service to their country, to their family, to their friends, or indeed to themselves. Memorial Day is for absolutely everyone. When we use our life as a mirror for change, we create change in our life. We create something that allows us to see the lessons. When we look at those that have gone to the spirit world and allow us to honor their memory, we can find they can have a profound impact on us. Of the people that have gone to the spirit world this week, and we know 5 such people just in our tiny circle, we know that out there are lots more. If you begin to look and reflect on who you are at the core because of those people, because of their music, because of how they changed you, how they influenced you, what sacrifices they made for you, then your life begins to be the mirror for others. Your life begins to be the mirror for everybody else, and you give them permission to be the mirror for others. The special thing is, when we're the mirror for others, we forget what we're doing or why we're doing it. We just do it. A mirror is going within, which means we're not paying attention. You're not paying attention to others. You're doing something because you believe it to be right. You're doing something because you believe it to be correct for you. You're not bothered about what the effects are on the outside. Wayne Dyer always said, if you follow your passion with purpose, then you will find that whatever you're looking for in terms of accolade and external life will come to you, because you're doing what feeds your soul. So whether it's acclaim, whether it's money, whether it's success, whether it's health, whether it's happiness or spirituality, if you do what is within you and you do it from the seed of who you are, you will be able to build a spiritual evolution for yourself. That's what transformation is about. You cannot build from what you have to build outside of yourself. You can only build from what you have within, the core, the seed. Others can rock you to your core, but they can never take the seed of who you are away. They can never take who you are away. No longer will you be able to say, you make me feel, or you made me do this. We sometimes spend so much time and money and effort changing the way we look, the way we dress, the way we are on the inside. Imagine if you spent half as much effort and time on changing the inside. Imagine what your life would look like. I think it'd be pretty darn good. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Carrie. Beautiful, beautiful address. And ladies and gentlemen, I think we all have apples in our lives, don't we? Get them at the market. Why don't we use them as just a reminder of the address Carrie gave, that change starts from within. So when we see an apple, think of that. Thank you, Carrie. So beautiful. We're going to move now to our demonstration of mediumship, and Phil is our medium for today. Thank you, Phil. And I know we have some friends here that are here for the very first time. We've had some friends here who've been with us since the beginning of our journey, but let's just all play along that this is your very first Sunday gathering. And this is an opportunity to see the spirit world at work. Our loved ones are alive, they are well, they are healthy. They have picked their best age, their best weight, their best look. You know, we get to choose and we get to be our very, very best self. They're still living people complete with their personalities, as we get to see most weeks. And our demonstration of mediumship is not so that everyone gets a reading, but it's just to give a taste of how close our loved ones are. So anyone that gets a reading here today, I would everyone here to think that these kind people are representatives of your people, my people, that they all, they have work to do on the other side. Certainly they do. They continue learning and growing and experiencing, but they can multitask. They can be with us. They're only a breath away. And it's beautiful to see just how close they are. It's often that we hear some stories that I was with you at your wedding, or I saw this yesterday, or sometimes people are with us holding a picture in their hands and giving it a kiss. And our mediums are able to say that. And it's just, they're with us. They truly are. So as Phil begins the demonstration, he'll ask those in the spirit world to work with him and may wait for a moment or two for them to show up. They will use everything he's got, his memories, his thoughts, his feelings, sounds maybe, and they'll paint a little picture for him perhaps. He'll say a few words about the individual that is with him, and you'll hear him say that. Maybe what the relationship was, is it a man or is it a woman, what they did for work possibly. But listen in on the edge of your seat. The spirit world, they know who's here, even though we're connected by Zoom and telephones and iPads, they know just who's here. And he will give a description of this person. We want you to listen in. If you can understand all the information that he has shared, that this is a person you know that no longer walks this earth, we want you to press your raise hand button. Now, this is an opportunity for everyone to get their finger out and find your raise hand button and press it, even if you've pressed it 166 times before. Who cares? Have some fun. Just to get to know how that button works. After you press the raise hand button, it should now say lower hand, and you can press that once again and you'll see your hand will go down. And again, I ask if you can accept all the information that he's shared. Sometimes we have around 200 people on our Sunday gathering, and I know some people can take some of the information, but not all. We ask you keep your hand down unless you can take all. And then if no one's hand goes up, Phil will work to give some more information. All right, pretty easy, I think. Don't feel nervous about talking to us. Please don't. We are all friends here. We don't need to see your face. So if you have your curlers on or you're in your pajamas, no problem. When we do find who the recipient is of this message, I will press a button on my side and you'll get a little pop-up that says the host would like you to unmute yourself. There'll be a pop-up unmute button and you just press that and then you'll get an opportunity to talk with Phil. Now, your job is really easy. His job, he talks more. He will give some information about this person. And all we need from you is a good loud yes, as in, yes, I understand that information. No, as in, no, that doesn't make sense to me, or maybe I don't know. We do ask that you do not supply information about your loved ones because we want everybody to know that Phil is in a conversation with that person. And mediumship is real. It is very, very real. So again, these loved ones that come through, I believe, are on behalf of all of our loved ones. Our loved ones are so close. You might even have a few goosebumps right now as they're stepping forward. They're not just showing up on a Sunday. They're here to support you. Their love is real. They work often through our imagination, and we just brush it off. That was just my imagination, but it could have been them. Really, truly. Their love never dies, and they will be right there to greet you when it's our time, but not too soon. So as we go into a song, I just want you to sit back and just feel the love of your loved ones, probably feeling and looking their healthiest and their wellest. And we got a Tina Turner song, The Best. I know, Tina Turner, you're the best. Our loved ones are the best. And ladies and gentlemen, joining us, you're the best. We're a good crew of the best. So sit back, relax, enjoy the song, enjoy the love from your loved ones, and then we'll bring Phil onto the scene as soon as Tina's done singing. And Tina, love you, Tina. And speaking about love, we've got Phil with our demonstration. Hello, Phil.
Hello, Sandra. Hello, Darren, Kerry, and everyone that is watching. What a joy it is to be back with you all. As you can see, we're on our travels as well. But as Kerry was doing her address, I was just listening, and so many thoughts and impressions were going through my mind. Over the 166 weeks that we've been together, we've demonstrated where we've lost people moments before the Sunday gathering, or we've got messages through the chat saying, did you know somebody had passed? But as we've got to know you, we know that your loved ones have gone to the spirit world as well. And as Kerry said before, we've this week lost some good friends, or some friends of ours have lost some really good people in their lives. And I think we're all starting to belong to a group of people or a family of people of grief that nobody wants to be part of, but it touches us all, doesn't it? So as I heard Tina Turner's song, I thought, what a great loss for this world that we've lost such an amazing singer. But how the spirit world will rejoice that they're getting all these people back, these special people back in that home that we all go back to. So it's very moving and very touching, isn't it, to listen to? But it's peculiar because as I've just been sitting here and talking to you, I've been getting things going through my mind. And I know as I gazed out the window, because I've got this lovely view in front of me, I keep on seeing trucks. So I want to talk about a husband in the spirit world that would have either driven trucks, because I keep on getting the impression now the trucks that I'm being impressed with are different to the ones that I'm seeing, because it feels I want to talk about long distance cargo trucks, the type that I'm talking long distances here. So somebody must have husband in the spirit world that would have driven trucks, but I feel he was quite a dab hand at either fixing them, repairing them. But I also want to say as well that he's just what I want to call a diamond. He said things as they were. And I know I'm very much hearing my own voice, so I know he could be quite loud as well. So would this make sense to anybody in our audience, please?
Thank you very much, Phil. All right. If this makes sense to you, this information, go ahead. You've practiced. Press that raise hand button, please. We'll give it a moment. Okay. Naomi has her hand raised. Naomi, if you could press your unmute button. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome.
Hello, Naomi. You understand everything I've said?
I understand everything. He wasn't real big at fixing and repairing, but he could do that.
Okay, but he did drive trucks though.
Yes.
But he must have had if it wasn't fixing and repairing, because I want to look at this to really understand it. I just get the impression that he was somebody in life that could get on with what life dealt him. He could always make the best out of things, or try to.
Yes.
Because I keep on getting the impression with this gentleman that he would have had to do this numerous times personally. But I also feel within the family, there must have been times where it was hard for him. And it's almost where he had to not be the mediator, but he had to help smooth things over.
Yes.
Because I just feel with him, he's a man that spoke his truth and very much just got on with things. Now, I also believe, like I said, he's quite, if I said he could be quite dominant with his voice as well.
Yes.
Because it just feels where I want to say my piece, then I want to go quiet. And if somebody speaks back, I've always got an answer. But when I say this, I don't mean that in how can I put this? I don't mean that in an awful way. He just knows his mindset and he knows his details and facts.
Yes, correct.
But I also feel if you wanted somebody around to lift everybody, he would be the man.
Yes.
And I also know it wasn't just towards family. This would be towards everybody as well.
Yes.
And I keep on hearing this name and I can't quite place it. Would I be right in saying, Naomi, you would understand the name of Ian as well? And when I say that, I want to say, I'm not saying it's his name, but he would either known an Ian or there would be an Ian in the family.
No, not that I'm aware of.
Not that you're aware of, because I can't change that. So I'm just going to let that come back to me just to see what's happening. But with your husband, he wasn't somebody that would change his mind easily.
Correct.
But I also feel as well towards the end, it's almost like I don't want any pity. I don't want any sorrow. It's almost like I was very independent,
Yes.
because there's just this sense with him. Now, I also feel he could give good, frank advice as well.
Yes.
And he would say his bit, and I want to say where this advice will be. He would say along the lines, we just have to deal with life, pull our socks up and get on with it.
Yes.
Because I just feel that's what he wants to come forward with you and say, it's just time to get on with things. And what I also be right in saying that he had friends that were very close to him that he considered family as well.
Yes.
Because it just feels he picked friendships rather than some of his own family where he chose to engage with more than family.
Absolutely correct.
Because I know here he keeps on giving me that sense of about making our own family and getting on with things here as well. And I want you just to keep that open mind, because I keep on hearing that name of Ian. And as I said about the friends, I know this seems to be a friendship with a gentleman called Ian to your husband as well. That's fine. Would I also be right in saying that your husband would collect things from his journeys?
Yes, sometimes.
Because it feels where I want to be bringing all kinds of odds and ends back with me as little gifts and souvenirs.
Yes.
But it's almost like there's no rhyme or no reason to it. It's just bits of this and bits of that, but I know they're very unique.
Yes.
Okay. And you must still keep these things and keep them together, though.
I do.
Because I know there's almost like being a collection where you've gone through, and I know here it just brings those memories of all those stories of time shared from his experiences.
Yes.
And I'm going to leave you with his love, but knowing about putting your best foot forward and pulling those socks up to get on with things as well.
Thank you, Phil.
Bear with me one moment, Naomi. Where he gave frank advice, he was also very supportive to anything that you put your mind to or wanted to do.
Absolutely correct.
And I know just as I'm moving away from you, he left the impression with me where there's been consideration of a new job.
Yes.
Because I know he's just saying whatever makes you happy. Now, I'm not telling you to do that, but I know he brings that into my mind. I'm going to leave that with you and say thank you very much, Naomi.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Absolutely welcome.
Thank you both so much. See how close they are, ladies and gentlemen? They love us.
Okay. So as I become aware of the spirit world, I do get the impression of a lady coming forward. And I know with this lady, I want to say wife in the spirit world. And I know with her, she was very elegant and her presentation was immaculate. The way that she would look, and when I say that, it's almost like I don't want to let people see me not looking my best. I do feel that I pass quite early. And when I say early, I feel I'm around my 40s or 50s. I'm around that. I'm not hearing that, but I feel that. And I get the impression with her, there would either be where she was either a teacher, but I want to say there must have, if she's a teacher, she would have experience with different age groups like elementary, and here in the United Kingdom we call it secondary school, so I don't know what their next school is up, but I just get the impression of wife, and I know she was a teacher.
Thank you very much, Phil.
And I just heard something, Sandra. I actually believe she was an English teacher, because I just heard a very eloquent voice, so I know the spoken word was very important.
Okay, thank you. All right, friends, who can understand this information? Go ahead and press your raise hand button. No hands up just yet, Phil.
Okay. Okay. I can't change this because there's something that I don't want to go any further. Let me just have a look for a second. As I go back to this lady, I know it's either she's an English teacher or English is very important to her. I don't feel I want to be in England, though. That's the thing that I have. It feels where I want to be in the States. It feels like I want, I've got the impression of Cancer as she passes to the spirit world. And I just get there's something here about important about teaching. If she wasn't a teacher, she would have there would be teaching within her family, or there's something very important about this.
Okay, we have Jen with her hand raised. Let's see. Jen, if you could press your unmute button. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Jen.
Hello, Jen. Do you understand everything I've said?
Yes, and I'm sorry, just mute for a minute. Guys. Sorry.
You
Hound
don't
dogs.
worry.
We love dogs.
So you understand, I did say wife, but this can't be your wife though, can it, Jen?
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Then bear with me 1 second. If I've got the relationship wrong, you would understand, how can I put this? You would understand a lady in the spirit world that was a teacher.
Yes.
And she should have been an English teacher.
Yes.
Because I feel the spoken word, and she must have been very well presented. She never liked to people to see her without her makeup and everything done.
She had a way of dressing, but from when I knew her, she did not wear makeup.
Oh, bear with me then. There's something not right. If I'm not with makeup, then bear with me, Jen. Then would you understand that the way that she presented herself was quite unique, but always well presented?
Yes.
And would I also be right saying with her, she was quite a strong-minded lady?
Yes.
Because it just feels here. And when she spoke, though, everything had to be correctly pronounced, almost like she would have helped with enunciation and speech.
Yes.
Because it just feels, just as I caught this voice, it was so eloquent and so precise. She would have, there must be memories with her where she corrected people on the spot, but not in a malicious way. It's almost, she correct how to say things properly.
Yes.
But I also feel as well, she was a very precise lady, a lady that would, how can I put this, would have been quite a big inspiration in your life.
She was.
But I don't feel that she's just a teacher to you. She seems closer to you.
Yes.
Because it feels like I want to talk about mother or family.
Yes.
Because again, it just feels here, I want to, in fact, this should be mum, Jen.
No.
Then, because I just get the feeling I want to look out for you. It feels what I want to help you in the best way that I could. Do you understand that?
I do understand that.
That's fine, because it just feels she's got that maternal feeling towards you. But I also feel with her that the way that she would hold herself, the way that she would walk around, you knew that she had a presence about her.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I know that she was noticed quite a lot as well through that uniqueness. But I also feel with her that she was a lady that always stuck to her morals.
Yes.
And I know that there was times where she had different views to other people, but she wouldn't waver.
I believe that's true.
Because it just feels, I want to say to you, I know you've got your views on life, you've got your understanding, and I know that you should not be wavering either. Because it just feels here, you've got that notion in your mind about what you want from the future, Jen.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not telling you that everything's correct, but I know it's impressions from her to pass on to you. Now, would I be right as well that her passing was quite quick as well?
Oh.
Because it feels where I want to keep symptoms and things back to myself.
Oh gosh. Honestly, I was kept in the dark.
Because okay, that would make sense, because it feels like I want to keep everything back and not share. And I want to keep my either dignity, but I also want to, it's almost like I really respect my privacy.
Yes.
Okay, because I know I just want to feel this, but I know that she's just coming forward and giving these impressions. So I know I'm going to leave you with her love, but I know it's about keeping your dignity. It's about keeping your drive and looking to what you want to make life. So I'm going to say thank you for allowing me to do that, Jen.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're absolutely welcome.
Thank you, Jen. Thank you, Phil.
Okay. So I do feel, as I become aware of the spirit world, I want to talk about Mother in the spirit world. I do believe her name was Margaret, and I do believe that she's, again, a very strong-minded lady, but I also feel with her, the way that she's impressing me, and I'm just taking a second to understand this, it's almost where I want to go to either work within a legal capacity, whether that's law or local government or some kind of council. I don't know what you call it in the States, but I know there's that capacity with her. But I get the impression as well that she's almost an advocate for ladies in general. And I get the impression that she's, I just can't change. It's very strong-minded. So I know I've got mum. Her name was Margaret. I know there would be some kind of faculty towards law with her, whether she practiced it or was involved in some way. I just know there's that impression from her.
Thank you, Phil. All right, friends, who understands this information? Press your raise hand button, please. Tick tock, tick tock. No
One of
hands
those.
going
That's
up just
absolutely
yet.
fine.
It's okay.
So if, because you're all very good with the yeses and nos, if I've made the mistake, I want to just change something ever so slightly. I still feel I would have Mother, but Margaret would in some way associate with Mother, either sister or within the family unit.
Who can understand this information? Mom's name does not need to be Margaret, but you can understand the information. All right, Jay. Jay, if you can find and press your unmute button. Hi, Jay.
Hey, how are you?
Good, great, welcome.
Hello,
Thank you.
Jay. Do you understand everything
Hey.
I've said?
Well, my mom's middle name was Margaret, but she wasn't involved in the legal field.
She wasn't involved, then
What wasn't right?
that's fine. Then I don't feel I'm with you, Jay. Just as I'm listening to your voice, I'm not connecting to that. So I know either somebody's not spoken. Thank you for coming forward, but I know
No
there's
problem.
somebody else.
Thank you, Jay. Anne, you have your hand raised. If you could press your unmute button, please.
I do. Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Yeah, my grandmother was Margaret, and I have a cousin who is a Supreme Court justice in the US.
Right.
Her name is also Margaret.
That's fine. Okay, because I couldn't change the law. Okay. As soon as you said High Court Justice, it was like, oh, got a bit of a shudder. So I have to be on point. So if I'm not, and the grandmother you're thinking of, would I be right in saying it's mum's mum?
Dad's mom.
Because I just want to understand then, because then would you understand where I said she could be quite a strong-minded lady?
Oh, very much so.
Because it feels where I can't change much, and she's just got this mindset that's quite rigid. So there must be a sense whether it's either her way or there's no way whatsoever. So I know she was that quite strong-minded type.
She was very much a little German descendant,
Okay.
born in 1900,
Don't say
went to
anymore. That's absolutely
college.
fine.
Yeah.
Because I just get this impression the strength of mind is really important. But it's not just the strength, it's how she wouldn't budge on things as well. But I also know with her, the family and family setup, excuse me, was really important with her. So I know she was very strong, an advocate of the ladies in the family.
Yes.
Okay, because I know here, as you said, somebody else is in the family's High Court judge. There seems to be an immense pride there towards that. So I know that where grandmother was concerned, she would sing the praises of ladies in the family. Would you know that, Anne?
Yes, absolutely.
Because this is the impression I get with her mindset. But I also feel as well, in fact, if she liked you, you were quite plausible. But if she didn't like you, it's almost like you wouldn't get any change off her, because it feels where she won't integrate with you.
Yes. Yes.
Because it's almost, and people, when they were new to her, had to really work to get on that better side, or get to know her, or get to gain her trust.
That could be true. Yes.
Because I know here I'm working like nobody's behalf, because it just feels I've got to really get to get her on side and trust. But I know that's how she was. But again, with your grandmother, I know that she could correct people in the family, and she would speak her mind and put them in their place.
Yes, absolutely.
Because it just feels that I've no uncertain terms, just got to deliver what she impresses me with. But I also know as well, she was a very proud lady and would not admit any mistake she would make.
Oh, I'm not sure about that.
Because it just feels here, where she liked things done her way, she kept true to it. There was never a mistake. It almost feels where, thank you, there must be memories, and I just want to take a second with this Anne. There must be times where you helped her out.
Oh, I didn't live around her, but my cousin,
Ah.
the judge did very much, very
That's
much.
fine. Then you might have to get in touch to find out, because it just feels where that help was concerned. It wasn't the easiest to help her, but I know here she liked things done in the right way, and she could be a bit particular as well.
Yes.
Okay. Would I also be right in saying that you would know that you could never get her to do anything she didn't want to do?
Oh, she was a strong-minded woman.
Because I'm
Yes.
asking all kinds of things and she's digging her heels in, so I know it's got to be her way, like I said before. But again, I just feel that this is the reason why she's coming forward with you, Anne, is to stick to your guns, to whatever's going on, because she's not opening that up, but to stick to your guns and do the best that you can. Understand?
I do. Thank you so much.
One last thing, would I be right in saying, even though she's got this hard exterior, making it difficult to get to know, and that's how she could be, she was very sentimental underneath, though?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Because it feels where family was very important. When I say that, it feels where I want to be, either family get-togethers and parties and celebrations where the family would come. She really enjoyed those moments.
She did, and she would do anything for anyone.
I know she will, because underneath it just feels, and so there must have been either quiet conversations between your grandmother and you at some point about life and what was needed, almost like advice.
Yes. Yes.
Because it just feels, and again, and you must have an awareness of the spirit world, because she's impressing me where she wants to do that with you still.
Oh, I do. I'm growing and very open. Yes.
Because it just feels she's very proud of that. So I'm going to leave that with you and say thank you very much for allowing me to do that, Anne.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you, Anne. Thank you, Phil.
Okay, so as I become aware of the spirit world again, I'm very much aware of a younger gentleman in the spirit world coming forward. I do feel that there's some kind of relationship as in the way of partner. I know that it was either a road traffic accident, but I know it was the passing was instant, and I don't want to be too graphic, but all I'm going to say, it was instant. But I know he was in the prime of his life, and I just get the feel here, if bear with me, I want to talk about, I'm going to change something. I want to talk about son in the spirit world, and I feel that this accident would have happened on the way to either meeting a partner or meeting up with somebody. I know that's quite important.
Thank you, Phil. All right, who can understand this information? And once again, Phil, no immediate hands have gone up.
And I'm not, how can I put this?
Anna, you have your hand up. Let's bring you in. Anna, if you could press your unmute button. Hi, Anna.
Hi.
Welcome.
Hello, Anna. Yeah, sorry, is it Anna? Yes. Hi, Anna. Do you understand everything I've said?
I understand most of it, so I thought I would just see if it's for me or not.
So you understand, there's just something I want to look at. Would I be right in saying this was partner, Anna?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. Because I wanted to go back to something I said, then corrected. And you understand where he was passed in a road traffic accident?
Yes.
And I want to say it was instant though.
Yes.
Because it just feels that my life was here, then it's gone. But I know I was either on my way to you, or would that make sense?
That I don't know.
Okay. Because it just feels like I was on my way. I know I was out somewhere. But if I said to you that he was he could be quite reserved at times, quite shy.
Not him, no.
Bear with me.
Reserved maybe, but not shy.
Because I just get this sense of, if I said he could be quite personable to you, he can open up more to you than he would to other people.
Definitely.
Because this is that side that I want. And it's almost you got to see the true person he would, that he didn't always show that to everybody though.
Yes.
Because that's where I felt that shyness, that sort of reserve towards. But again, to other people, he could be quite the life and soul.
Definitely.
Because it feels where he's got that side to him where he could entertain, he could get on with people, and he could break the ice. He had that ability that seemed to bring people together.
Yes.
I also feel with him, there must have been plans where you and him talked about traveling the world.
Yes.
Because it feels where I want to be making plans for the future. And this is why I feel the passing was so sudden and very unexpected. But I also know, even in those moments of darkness with him, he'd always see the brighter side, or always try and keep people on the cheerier side.
Yeah.
Because I know this is, even though I know the passing is quite traumatic and quite sudden, and it affects everybody, I know that his personality is one where I want to lift people. I want to almost tell jokes as well.
Yes.
But I also believe that, would I be right in saying he was quite close to his mum as well?
Yes.
Because again, there's a real fondness and expression of his heart there. But I also believe, even though he could be entertaining, he never set out to be the center of attention.
Yes.
And if I also said he was a good-looking man, would you understand?
Very much.
Because I want to say he would always get the attention of the ladies, but it was quite platonic, if that makes sense. I know he was popular, but I know he didn't play in it too much.
Yes, very much.
And I want to say, though, he was a very faithful and loyal partner, almost where I want to let you know what I'm doing, let you know where I'm going, and keep you up to date.
Very much.
Okay. And would I be right in saying that you have either a photograph of him in your bedroom?
Several.
Okay, because it feels where I want to wake up in the morning and say good morning, and when I close my eyes at night, I'm saying good night to those photographs. And I'm also aware that he lets me know here that you've asked to hear and see him as well.
Yes, I have.
And would I be right as well that you've asked for him to come today?
Yes.
Because I know he says I'm still he had a really good sense of humor in the way he could be a little bit funny as well,
Yes.
because he says, I heard you ask, so I better do as I'm told, sort of thing. Because I have a lovely saying for my wife, happy wife, happy life. And I know here he has that same impression as well.
Yeah.
Okay. But I also know with those photographs, when we have low moments and you talk to him still, because he makes me aware of this as you sit and talk to him on the edge of the bed, that you've kissed some of those photographs.
Yes.
Because he says, I want you to know that I'm sat right by your side, keeping an eye on you and keeping my promise. And there was a promise he made about traveling the world and seeing different things. He still wants that to happen because he'll always be by your side.
That's wonderful. Thank
I'm
you.
going to leave his love with you and say thank you for allowing me to do that, Anna. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Phil.
Okay. So as my mind gets moved again with an impression, I want to talk here about I feel like I want to talk about a young boy in the spirit world. I do believe this should be son. I do believe he died in I do believe it's either in a road accident. I don't feel he was in the car. I feel he was out of the car, and I feel some kind of impact, or get the impression of this. I don't feel that I'm a great age. I feel that I'm in my, it's either lower teens, if that, and I just get the impression that this was out of the blue, and I feel this was early one morning, like on a weekend. That's the impression that I'm getting here with him.
Thank you, Phil. All right, my friends, who understands this information? Stephanie, you have your hand raised. Let's bring you in. Stephanie, if you could press your unmute button. Hi, Stephanie.
I
Welcome.
Hello, hello, Stephanie. Do you understand what I've said?
I understand all of it, but it would be my godson if this is.
It's your godson, okay? But he was quite that sort of age that I mentioned.
Yes, he was 16.
Okay, because I just felt it was those lower, and it felt, and I know you said it's godson, but you must have had that really close relationship with him where he looked up to you.
Yes, absolutely.
Because I know you're saying godson, but it still feels I want to talk about the way he looks at you towards son. But I do feel that this was like misadventure. It just was so unexpected, and it was that early morning.
It was very early in the morning, yes.
Because again, I get that impression of it being early doors. But I just want to say, he comes across quite selfless, like he was, how can I put this? Just full of life.
Oh, yeah.
And it feels where I could bring tears to people's eyes, because I could be quite a personality.
Oh, yeah, he was a love.
But I also know he's not just that, he could be quite sensitive to people's needs. He was quite selfless as well.
Oh, yes.
And for somebody so young, he seems to have this mindset, knowing how to say things at the right time.
Yeah.
The right words to pick, almost like he's got this sense of how people are feeling. And I know we said he was 16, but he still would have very much give you a hug or a cuddle as well.
Oh, all the time, yeah.
Because
Wonderful.
it just feels I want to run up and do that, the impressions I get from him. But I also feel with him that how can I put this? He was very observant to people's needs as well.
Very much.
because
Yeah.
it just feels he's got this, it's almost like he's older than his years. He seems to pick up that people are not in the best place, and he seems to be quite supportive. But I also feel he never poked and prodded. At a 16-year-old, he must have been quite mature,
He was very mature.
because it just feels where he were never pushed into situations. He would have just kept by your side. So it's almost like he knew when life wasn't great for you, but he would always be there helping out in the kitchen and around the house for you.
Yeah.
And I also know, for somebody who's 16, he was quite meticulous on birthdays. So I know he would always make make you feel spoilt on birthdays.
Yes.
Oh, now then. Would I be right, Stephanie, that you'd already purchased either a present or something for him for his birthday before he passed?
It wasn't for his birthday, but you're right.
I know I'm right. I know that there's that there. I thought it was for a birthday. I was trying to look at it that little bit closer, but I know he's aware that you bought him something before he passed, because I know he cherishes it, and I know it was really heartfelt, and I know from his perspective how you felt quite emotional. You weren't able to give it, but I know from him he acknowledges that, and this is what I mean. He's quite a selfless young man with that insight into people's feelings and understandings.
Yes. That was really special, actually. That was a really big deal.
I know, because there's just something about that. But again, it didn't matter whatever you would get him for his birthday. Even a simple card or just a hug is what it's all about. For somebody so young to be so family orientated, it's a real honor just to get to know him as well. Would you know that his clothes have still been kept, or some of them?
Yes.
And would I also be right in saying that you have some of them as well, Anna?
I don't.
No, let me have that back. Would I be right in either for a birthday you bought him clothes?
Yeah.
Because I know he's got this to do with clothes, but I made a mistake with it. I know you bought him clothes.
Yeah.
But I just get that sense for him. But I know he's ever so grateful. I also believe at times through his school years, he could feel a little bit isolated at times.
Yes.
Because again, I feel he's a very sensitive soul, and it takes him a while to get to know and trust other people. So I know those school years weren't always the best for him.
Right.
Yeah. But I know he's here to keep your spirits, because he's just let me know sometimes life doesn't make us feel wonderful, and this is why he's come forward, just to give you that little inspiration to keep you going.
Oh, I love him.
So I'm gonna, in fact, he would also give you a kiss when he hugged you as well. Because just as you said that, he pulled you in again, and I just heard that kiss. So I'm going to leave his love with you, Stephanie, and say thank you for allowing me to do that for you.
Oh, thank you so much,
You're
Phil.
absolutely welcome.
It.
Absolutely welcome. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to hand back over to the lovely Sandra Champlain. It's always been an honor to be here, but to be part of a special service where we know we've lost somebody very special to the spirit world, and friends have too. But we're all in one club that wants to support and inspire and be there for each other. And that's what makes We Don't Die so special. So thank you for allowing myself and Kerry to be part of this.
Oh, thank you so much, Phil. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, just some announcements before we continue on. First of all, many are in that club none of us wanted to join, called Grief. On Tuesday, our friends Kath and Mitch Shirley are going to be doing a free grief cafe. This will not be recorded, it'll be private, but they are both advanced grief recovery specialists, and it's such a special place to be. Our home base, by the way, is WeDon'tDie.com. If you go to the store page, you can find everything coming up in chronological order. So that is on Tuesday. Also on that home base of WeDon'tDie.com, I know probably most of you are on the mailing list, But on the bottom of that page, if you even rejoin the mailing list, there'll be a pop-up that says you'll receive the first few chapters of my book. The truth is, it is the entire book that you get. Chapter 10 is about grief and surviving grief. It is the toughest road we walk. And no matter what we believe in the afterlife, grief hits us. And there is quite a bit of it that is out of our control. And there is some things that we can do to feel better and move through the process. So I encourage you both for the Grief Cafe and also to read that chapter. Also, there's some great things coming up on Tuesday. You can join Scott Milligan for Sitting in the Power Hours. Also on Friday, we do a Sitting for Healing and Trance Medium demonstration with him. On the Saturday, we will be doing a 5-hour intensive on trance and the altered states. So that's coming up. June classes are open for registration. Carrie and Phil will be traveling, but we'll have them in a little bit different way. So on Tuesdays, all Carrie and Phil students are welcome to join for some student practice sessions. All students practice, practice, practice. On Wednesday, we're doing what's called a hybrid training. So I've got some special clips of their training, and you can join me and our good friend Shirley Ann. And so we're going to learn a lesson or two, and then we're going to practice. It'll be fun. Everybody's welcome to join. On Thursdays, we have student medium demonstrations. So you don't have to wait till just Sundays for demonstrations. They will be every Thursday in June, starting at the same time we started today. Also, Carrie and Phil's classes are open for when they return in July. And all kinds of good things coming up with them, mentoring and medium classes and demonstrating medium classes, and just so much more. So again, wedon'tdie.com is the home base. You can go to the Sunday Gathering page if you would like, register for next week, and also register for our, not register, but review, see the replays of some of our past gatherings. Sometimes we just need a pick-me-up during the week, and you'll find that, well, they pick me up, so I think they'll pick you up as well. Just a reminder that we are not alone. Also, I have 2 new podcast episodes available at the radio show page on wedon'tdie.com. One of them is a tribute to Arthur Findlay. We've heard that name before, and I've got some really wonderful things to share about the great Arthur Findlay. The other one is I interviewed Peter Alessandria. You might remember him. He is an author of a book. He's a TEDx speaker, and he was a guest giving our address on a Sunday gathering sometime last year, but he's also an afterlife filmmaker. So that is the other one. So that's pretty cool. What else? Last thing I want to say is Darren spoke about the sheep and the lion, and I want to introduce you to the lion in you. You know, Carrie spoke, I can talk so eloquently about that apple, and deep within each one of us, really that transformation can occur. But sometimes it helps someone telling us who we really are, because that little voice in our head, at least my little voice, wakes up in the morning not so empowered and is quick to point out all my faults. But here's the thing. We each have that lion that can show us our reflection. Who those lions are the people in our life. If you were to ask the people in your life about what qualities you possess, or even just imagine that they would tell you, what would they say? Oh, you've got a great sense of humor. Oh, you're so generous. Oh, you're so smart. You can make anything happen. You know, there's so many great qualities that they would share about you. You, my friend, are the only one that may be buying into that you're still a sheep, because everyone in the world knows you as the lion. They know who you are. They know what you've done. So who you really are is not who you think you are. It's who other people say that you are. So once the young lion found out he really is a lion, you can't go back and be a sheep. But once you're a lion, man, you can accomplish quite a bit of stuff. You also may want to review your past of some of your successes in life, some of those hardships you've had that you've overcome. And remember who you really are. That mind of ours wants to convince us that we're small, but we are mighty lions. So from one lion to another, We love you. You're special. You're more powerful than you know. And we're so grateful that you're here on our Sunday gathering. So I'd like to pass it over to Darren for our closing prayer, please.
Thank you for those words, Sandra, and thank you to Phil, Kerry, and each and every one of you for being here week in and week out and for your kind words and support. We love you, so thank you. So if you'd all like to close your eyes and join me for the closing prayer. We'd like to thank our friends, brothers and sisters from within our lands for coming here together as one and uniting under that umbrella of We Don't Die, and for each and every one of you playing your part in this Sunday gathering and allowing the two worlds to come together again. To our dear friends, helpers and loved ones of that world we call unseen, we'd like to offer our sincere thanks and gratitude for having us the faith and trust in us to walk by our side hand in hand and allowing us to work with your world each and every one week to deliver these Sunday gatherings, and allowing us all to hear your words and your thoughts, and allowing us to immerse ourselves within that unconditional love and healing balm, which allows us to leave these Sunday gatherings feeling joyous and uplifted and reminded once again that love and life are both eternal. As we bring this Sunday gathering to an end and allow the sun to set on this day, we go forward to a new day and a new week. Continue our journeys of life, creating our own pathways and reminding ourselves to always look within, so we can always try and make ourselves be the best version of ourselves that we can truly be. And we can do this in the comfort and knowledge to know that you continue to walk by our side, helping us, guiding us and inspiring us along our journeys. And as we bring this Sunday gathering to a close, we remember all those that have gone before us to give us the freedoms that we have within our world today, and each and every one of you will be remembered here today on Memorial Day, and we are eternally grateful. And as we leave this Sunday gathering, we ask once again that healing light continues to shine to all four corners of our world, continuing to bring the joy, the upliftment and that healing balm that may be in need by those hearts and minds here today. So until we meet again, my friends, we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Amen.
Thank you so much, Darren. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Our closing song is actually a sing-along, Dig a Little Deeper, from The Princess and the Frog. And I just wanted to do a shout out to our friends who have donated to our Sunday gathering to make it possible. We thank you. Our chat box is still open. Even though we can't get back to each one of you personally, we are reading them all. So share some words. We love you. And here's our closing song. Get ready to sing. Well, that was fun. Dig a little deeper. We love you all. Thank you so much for joining us and being part of our very special Sunday gathering family. We'll see you next week, if not sooner. Bye.